Imagine waking up one morning to find two gruesome murders in your own home. No forced entry, no obvious suspects, just a bloody mystery that would shock the entire nation. This is the story of Lizzie Borden, a quiet woman from Fall River, Massachusetts, accused of brutally murdering her father and stepmother with a hatchet. Was she guilty? Or was someone else responsible? Let's dive into one of the most chilling and debated true crime cases in American history. The Bordens were a wealthy but frugal family living in Fall River, Massachusetts. Andrew Borden, the family patriarch, was a self-made businessman. Despite his considerable wealth, Andrew was known for his extreme penny-pinching ways. For example, he refused to install indoor plumbing, even though the family could easily afford it. Andrew lived with his second wife, Abby Borden, and his two adult daughters, Lizzie and Emma. The family wasn't exactly close. Lizzie and Emma reportedly had a tense relationship with their stepmother, Abby. They believed she only cared about her own relatives and suspected her of trying to take over their father's fortune. On the surface, they seemed like a typical, if quiet, family. But behind closed doors, resentment and tension were brewing. August 4th, 1892, started like any other day in the Borden household. Bridget Sullivan, the family maid, was up early doing chores. Abby Borden went upstairs to tidy the guest room. Andrew Borden went out for a walk. Lizzie? Well, her whereabouts that morning remain one of the biggest mysteries of the case. Around 9:30 a.m., tragedy struck. Abby Borden was brutally attacked in the guest room. She was struck 19 times with a hatchet, and the blows were so violent that her skull was shattered. About 90 minutes later, Andrew Borden returned home. Just as he settled on the living room couch for a nap, he too was attacked. He was struck 11 times in the face with a similar weapon, leaving him unrecognizable. No one saw or heard anything. No signs of forced entry. No bloody footprints leading outside. The killer was likely still inside the house. Lizzie was the one who sounded the alarm. She called for Bridget, shouting that her father had been killed. When Bridget and the neighbors arrived, they found Andrew's lifeless body on the couch, his face covered in blood. Shortly after, Abby's body was discovered upstairs. It was clear the murders were connected, but who could have done such a thing? Bridget, the maid, claimed she hadn't heard anything unusual except Lizzie calling her. Lizzie's calm demeanor raised eyebrows. When asked where she was during the murders, she said she'd been in the barn looking for fishing sinkers. But her story didn't quite add up. The barn was sweltering hot that morning, and no one saw her there. Suspicion quickly fell on Lizzie. Her behavior during the investigation was odd. She seemed calm, even detached, and her alibi didn't hold much weight. Then, there was the dress. Just days after the murders, Lizzie was seen burning a dress in the kitchen stove. When asked why, she said it was stained with paint, but investigators believed it could have been covered in blood. Despite these suspicions, the evidence was circumstantial. No murder weapon was found, and there were no bloody clothes tied to Lizzie. However, the prosecutors believed they had enough to charge her with the murders. The trial began in June 1893 and was one of the first in American history to receive massive media coverage. It was dubbed the trial of the century. The prosecution argued that Lizzie killed her stepmother out of hatred and then murdered her father to cover her tracks. But the defense fought back hard. They argued there was no physical evidence linking Lizzie to the crime. After just 90 minutes of deliberation, the jury returned with their verdict: not guilty. Lizzie was a free woman, but public opinion was split. Some believed she got away with murder, while others thought she was unfairly targeted because she was an unmarried woman. After her acquittal, Lizzie stayed in Fall River but became a social outcast. She lived in a large house with her sister Emma until they had a falling out in 1905. Lizzie died in 1927, taking her secrets to the grave. Over the years, the case has inspired countless theories. Some believe Lizzie was guilty. Others think Bridget Sullivan, the maid, could have snapped under the pressure of working in such a tense household. And then there's the theory that an unknown intruder committed the murders. The Lizzie Borden house is now a bed and breakfast where visitors can stay in the rooms where the murders occurred. But the mystery remains. Did Lizzie Borden really take an axe? Or was she the victim of a terrible injustice? What do you think? Was Lizzie Borden guilty? Or is there more to this story than meets the eye? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more true crime content every week. Thanks for watching.